it's Friday the 1st of July and welcome to this week's news headlines from the Christian Institute. The Prime Minister should keep his promise to give married couples a tax break. That's what a group of backbench MPs said in the House of Commons this week. They think a non-working spouse should be allowed to transfer their unused tax allowance to their working spouse. The move would save married couples up to £1,500. The MPs say the government is dragging its heels over the issue.
Since the election, the Prime Minister has reiterated this commitment to recognise marriage in the tax system on a number of occasions, including his second Prime Minister's Question Time. But no action, Mr Deputy Speaker, has yet been taken.
The government says it supports the idea in principle, but the measure is too expensive at the moment.
Now, although the government supports the principle behind it, now is not the appropriate time to bring forward such a measure. Mr Speaker, this amendment would entail significant immediate costs to the Exchequer.
A Christian radio station has won permission to go to court over a ban on one of its adverts. Premier Christian Radio wanted to broadcast an advert asking Christians whether they had suffered from being marginalised in the workplace. The official watchdog stopped the advert from being broadcast, claiming it was politically motivated. But following a hearing, Premier has won the right to dispute that in the High Court. Tom Ellis is the solicitor representing Premier. He said, "I am very pleased with the result. The case raises some very important points of principle for Christians, and the case will now proceed to a full hearing before the High Court." Peter Kerridge, Chief Executive of Premier Christian Radio, said, "It's just ironic that being a Christian radio station, addressing a mainly Christian audience, that the advert we wanted to air was ever an issue." A member of the Scottish Parliament has said she will make another attempt to legalise assisted suicide. Margot MacDonald tried to change the law in the previous Scottish Parliament, but her bill was heavily defeated. She wants her new bill to allow assisted suicide for disabled people who have lost the will to live. But others say her bill is utterly irresponsible and risks making disabled people feel like second-class citizens. Meanwhile, in the Netherlands, 21 dementia patients have been killed by doctors under the country's euthanasia laws. Under Dutch law, patients can only be killed if they are in the early stages of the condition and deemed capable of giving consent. Phyllis Bowman of Right to Life, a British pro-life group, expressed her concern. She said, "I think the figures are frightening and we have every reason to be afraid. That people are putting themselves forward for death so early suggests that there has been quite a bit of pressure put on them." In 2008, Baroness Warnock sparked a storm of protest when she said dementia patients should be allowed to die because they are wasting people's lives and wasting the resources of the National Health Service. The Church of England has said churches should have unfettered freedom to decide whether they wish to register civil partnerships in their premises. The government wants to allow civil partnerships to be registered in religious buildings. It recently closed a consultation on its plans. William Fittle is Secretary-General of the Archbishops' Council and General Synod. He said the Church's present objective was to ensure that the proposals provide unfettered freedom for each religious tradition to resolve these matters in accordance with its own convictions and its own internal procedures of governance. The government is asking internet companies to shield children from pornography by automatically blocking access to explicit websites. Government ministers say access to online pornography should be turned off by default. Users would then have to opt in if they wanted to view adult material, giving parents much more control. Culture Secretary Jeremy Hunt said, "If internet service providers do not bring forward measures that will deal with this issue fast, we will legislate and regulate." Friends star David Schwimmer says girls should be told that they don't need to use their bodies to be popular. He has directed a film exploring the dangers faced by teenage girls growing up in a sexualised society. He said in the UK and USA, we have this real emphasis on how important it is to look young and sexual, so that's the message we're sending our girls. But the show that made him famous, Friends, has itself been criticised for glamorising a liberal attitude to sex. Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.